everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Two Sisters, One Book. I'm Carla.
And I'm Amanda. We are two sisters, two moms tackling one book at a time.
These podcasts are getting harder. We have our children walking in nonstop, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
It's okay, though. It makes us a little bit more relatable, I hope.
It does. Um, but we read three more chapters and we left off at Violet and Xaden attempting to do the naughty, but then Garrett comes knocking on the door saying they're under attack and everything. And now we get to see what happens. And we see that it was just all for a war game. So that's where we are right now.
Honest, when I read that, I was like, what? What? They interrupted everybody in the middle of the night for the war games. And I was like, I thought they finished the war games. Like,
Yeah, but it's still like probably just keeping them on their toes and stuff. And there's only 10 more days till graduation. So why
I
not?
guess
I feel like this was like a perfect why not moment.
the reality is going to happen at any time. So you may as well be prepared at any moment for something to happen. But yeah, I was a little, I don't want to say disappointed, but I was a little disappointed. I was like, oh, so this is all just like a challenge. And I'm like, what is this? What? Like, what is going on? But let's be honest, there was so much more than a challenge in these
Yeah.
chapters.
But before we get to that, we got to set the mood.
Let's set it.
Garrick is banging on the door and everything, and Violet is trying to find her daggers and stuff. And then we have Xaden because they're in Xaden's room, passing her a flight jacket. And this is kind of a moment where you see that Xaden really cares because he's like, I hate to see you cold. Now you have Violet walking around with a third year wing leader flight jacket. So we get to see actually Rihanna being a friend and kind of covering up all of Xaden's signets. We find out it's a war game, and Xaden actually steals Violet and then the couple more marked ones, but Dane only cared about Violet. I want to talk about Dane's attitude in this whole situation right
Yeah,
here. He was acting
let's
super
talk.
weird. So,
Let's talk about this. Yeah, it was, and it didn't strike me as weird until later. But this whole like setup of like, okay, so we're gonna get into the war games and do all these other things. I'm like, okay, so I mean, we're getting towards the end of the book here. So is something about to like happen? Because that's what I start thinking of as the reader is like, something's gonna happen, right?
and just his wording though, like,
Yeah, no, his
sorry.
wording was very odd. But like I said, so you have Xaden coming over who's like, oh, she's coming with me. And it was odd. But like when I was reading it initially, I didn't take it as weird. I was just like, well, this is just Dane being Dane. Like he doesn't like Xaden. He doesn't want Violet going with Xaden. And at first you notice that Xaden, or not, I'm sorry, not Xaden, that Dane is like, she's not going with you. Like, absolutely not. Da 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 da. And then once he realizes there's something between you two, a moment of like, are they hooking up? All of a sudden his mood changes immediate. And I thought that was a little odd because I'm like, for somebody who really cares about this girl, all of a sudden you're just like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to have to accept it for what it is. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of strange. Going back now, it makes complete sense why he was fighting against having her go. But then I think he had this realization of like, well, if she wants to be with him, then that's her choice and I need to move on, you know?
Yeah.
It was very odd.
Basically. But I couldn't get over he said, I'm going to miss you, Violet. Like
Yes.
it was this weird wording instead of like I will miss you. It was like I'm going to miss you.
Yes. Yeah, where is it? He said something along the lines of like, I'm going to miss you. And like I said, when I first read it, I was just like, dude, okay, well, she's going to be back in a little bit. Like, well, you're going to miss having her like around you. But then when I went back and read it again, after I've read all these chapters, he says, I'm going to miss you. That tells
Yeah.
me he knows something's going to happen and she may not be coming back.
Yeah. And then we go from okay, so them departing and doing their things to where they land. Aiden's squad lands in
And they're going to,
Lake area.
what's the place called? Their
Aspen.
Yes, which is the place that she even says it. It's the place that Xaden went to
To
on
sneak
like a
off
secret,
to.
a secret mission.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is interesting that that's the place that they pick to send Xaden to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's just, well, we all know it gets connected with Violet asking Xaden where he's been, and he told him, and then Dane's touching her face. I told you he was touching her face a lot all the time. So
And I'm still trying to find where in this book, because I'm like, oh man, I remember when he touched her face, because it was like a recent time, and I was like, bro, don't touch her face.
during
Don't like.
threshing, he touched her face. Like any encounter he had, he would always end up touching her face.
But he had to have touched her face after he told her about this place, which wasn't that long ago. This was I'm talking like a few chapters back, where it was like after the first time they slept together, and he tells her, she's like, tell me one honest thing about you. And he's like, what do you want to know? And she's like, where'd you go that one time? And he says, what, absinthe or wherever it was. And um, from that moment, all of a sudden she has this knowledge. And so at some point, at that point, Dane touched her face from that moment
Mhm.
till now. I'm just trying to remember when it was. Um,
She's so good at writing. Yeah, I just, oh, he bugs me so much.
but what's
So it's,
crazy is like going back a little bit is we have them landing at this place, which isn't quite their destination, right? It's like they stop to get water and do all this other stuff, feed the dragons, and Violet and Xaden go off for like a little like makeout sesh, and what happens, Amanda? They're
the flyers
interrupted.
come,
They're
yeah, by the
interrupted
griffins
by
and the
a
flyers,
whirlwind.
and we totally find out that Xaden's totally, from Violet's point of view, helping the enemy right now. And we learn more about her dad's letter that we went through last podcast of like the folklore, the venin, and all that stuff. So that was pretty exciting because they did come to warn Xaden, hey, there's venin coming your way. So
Mm-hmm. And we knew, remember we talked about this last episode, we knew that this letter that her father wrote, I was like, there's a reason that this was hidden in a book that
yeah,
she loves. And I have to say, I completely sympathize. Like, I felt really bad for Violet in the moment when she finds out that everyone's been lying. Not, I don't want to say lying to her, but not telling her the full truth. Like, not just Xaden, Liam, Imogen, all of these people.
the
e-
dragons.
Yeah, even the two dragons, like these people that she was trying to build these connections with. I mean, that had to have been like super hurtful to feel like these people who I'm supposed to, be building this relationship with, who want me to be a part of them. Everyone didn't tell her the full truth, even down to Andarna. I was like, Andarna.
Yeah, but then look at who she hangs around with. She hangs
Yeah.
around Dane Atos, and he's always touching her. And just the smallest thing could get her in trouble without even realizing it. Like he tried to even snatch her memories from the night that they killed Amber.
Zayden
So
makes a good point with it, because he said, I think Violet took it as, oh, you lied to me. You didn't tell me the truth. Like, you obviously don't trust me or whatever it is. But in reality, he didn't tell her because of Dane, because he knew that Dane could steal her memories essentially. And he's not worried necessarily about himself. He's worried about what they'll do to her after what they did to his father. So clearly there's some sense of like, love that he has towards her. And I do think I can understand why Violet was upset. But I think once she calms down and looks at it on the other side of it, maybe she'd be a little bit more understanding. I don't know.
I don't know. She seems like she's holding a grudge. So we'll see what happens with her.
Yeah.
But she was more than pissed off. She was livid. That girl was livid.
She was livid. And so we see like them talking about the venin. So these fables and stuff that her father would read to her as a kid is now coming back. And so we find out that the venin are real. And okay, something interesting, because maybe they said it earlier and I just didn't realize, is that they got into a little bit more of the fable of the three brothers.
Hmm.
Like the first brother bonded with a dragon, the second one bonded with a griffin, and the third one was just jealous and decided, I'm just going to take power from the source. And that's where the dark magic came from. I thought that was nice to get a little bit more of like the context of this. And as I'm reading it, it was when she was talking with Xaden. And she talks about how her father had these books for her, but nothing in the scribes goes beyond like 400 years, right? Is it 400 years or something? But she's like,
Yeah.
wait, this goes back 600. So the
Hence the
letter,
note, the letter where he
yeah,
was all like, it just takes one person to change everything.
which we see clearly 400 years ago, somebody decided we're going to erase this from history. And maybe
Hmm.
they figured, well, if we can't fully erase it from history, we'll do our best. But for just in case, we'll turn this into a children's story so people don't actually believe that it's real,
Maybe.
which is crazy. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like her father, what does she say? She says the letter, what he had written, folklore is passed from one generation to the next to teach us about our past. So she's like, he's trying to send me this message. And yeah, again, it makes sense why the letter was hidden in something that was only for her. But I started to wonder, do you think that the book of fables that he gave her is the only one in existence? Or do you think they just destroyed all of them?
I feel like they probably destroyed all of them. And I don't know, maybe his ancestor like saved the book and just kept passing it down
Mhm.
to him. So he might just be left with it. Or there might be hidden ones in certain places too that we just haven't found yet.
Essentially, this book came from Mira, like on their last visit, because Violet left it back home. She didn't take it with her. And then Mira ends up with this book to give back to Violet. So I'm wondering, what would her mother have done had she gone through her room and found that book? Would she have destroyed it, knowing that there
Oh,
might have been,
probably.
information
Probably
in
or
there?
kept it. She probably would have kept it for herself.
Mira ends up with the book. So now I'm starting to think, like, does Mira have something to do with this? Like, where Mira's like, I need to save this book for
Well, it's because
Violet.
she took it right before she crossed the parapet, remember? And then
Mm,
she's like, I'll give it back to you.
okay.
Yeah. So we knew Mira had the book.
Hmm. Dang. Dang.
Sorry to take that from you.
No, but
I
it's
should have just
like
let you keep going. I'm
you
sorry.
you had me take my pin out before I had a chance to put it up.
I'm sorry. It might, I mean, who knows? Maybe she does have something to do with the book. Don't listen to me. Gosh, keep
Okay.
going.
Okay. So there was a few things that I highlighted in the book, and I thought maybe we could just talk about them just to see. The first thing that I highlighted was Xaden, as he's talking with Violet, tells her lies are comforting, truth is painful. I think that's like probably one of the best things I've heard him say, because it's something that even in our real lives we deal with. Like, people will butter you up and tell you lies to make you feel better, because the truth can sometimes be excruciatingly painful. And in this whole situation, it's not like he lied to her, he just didn't tell her the full truth. And now all of a sudden he's coming out and he's like, okay, I'm going to tell you the truth. This is what it is. And it's painful. It hurts her. Right. So she's
Yeah.
essentially mad at him. Not, I mean, I think she is mad at him because he lied to her, but the truth is hurting her more than the lies would have, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it
No.
would. It would.
What
Only
was,
because I feel like she probably feels like you can't tell me, but she doesn't see the bigger picture on why people can't tell you, you know? That's just
right,
how I think of it. So,
right. And yeah, we come to find out that the reason why is because that was the next thing I highlighted, was because Dane, he says, your best friend sees this memory, everything is lost.
yeah. Yeah.
Which I forget that Dane has the power to see
Hmm.
things, but now this makes a lot of sense, going back to whatever it was that that one chapter when they killed Jeremiah, and they're like, oh, people who can read minds, it's illegal.
Yes.
And they
I
destroyed
hear
that.
your thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is
Yes.
exactly why.
But
Because
Dana's a little different because he does have to touch somebody, which I'm
mhm,
like, wow, you barely got lucky.
so it's
So,
more limited with Dane. So
yeah.
Dane isn't as threatening because he can't just look at you and read your mind. And I think they know that they can use him to their advantage, because not only is he loyal, but they can tell him, we need information, so we need you to go do this, right? But he's not at risk of learning things they don't want him to know.
Now, can you imagine if they said, hey, go get captured for us and touch all these people? need to get everybody's secrets.
But then they'd have to get him back, which would be the problem.
Yeah, that is true. What's a risk you miss him? But off topic. Yeah.
Yeah. But then it starts making me wonder, like, now I'm thinking about all the times he's touched Violet's face. And I'm like, what information was he gathering? Because we find out that she's not going to know if he reads her mind. So was this whole thing a setup? Just, I mean, I do believe he really did love her, but was this all a way for him to just consistently get information or find out what she knows? And now that she was tethered to Xaden, they probably saw this as an opportunity. And maybe, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. This is giving Dane a little credit, maybe where he doesn't deserve it. But like maybe that's why he was like, you need to pick Andarna, because he didn't want to have to go against her when they ask him to, knowing that she's tethered to Xaden if she takes the dragon, the black dragon Taryn. Now all of a sudden he knows he's going to be used to gather information, and he doesn't want to lie to her and hurt her. You know?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is my take on that. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So I feel like Dane, this is only because I reread it. I would have never gotten this if I didn't. Because remember when Melgren was like, oh, now we have a spy because of Sorengale?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like Dane Atos, he wants to be like a daddy pleaser. So his dad is like, hey, I really need to know what's happening with Xaden. And since the Sorengale girl's dragon is mated, they're always together. So just try to get me as much information as you can and what they're doing when they're with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Dane was like, okay, I could do that. That would be easy because I touch her face all the time. So she won't think anything of it. So I just feel like Dane basically gathered information for his dad.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be in like good graces with his dad,
Mm-hmm.
not realizing what he's doing. Like,
yeah,
the
so
bridges he's burning.
those are two theories. Who agrees with who here, right? Like, let us know.
Well, we're like, you guys are both totally wrong. Just let me have one.
Do you connect with more?
Right? Well, it's only because Malgreen said that during that party.
Yeah.
And then we see Dane's dad leave Xaden a letter at the meeting point for the war game saying all you have to do is survive. So I feel like it was kind of I don't know, it was just weird why Dane's dad is like that and why he sent him to that place all of a sudden. Like, how far back did Dane really go? Did he know that they were meeting up secretly under the tree? Like, I just feel like Dane's dad was just like, this is my opportunity of power and I'll seize it, you know? Like, let me kill Xaden and the marked ones.
He had to have known. He touched her face plenty of times.
Exactly.
I guarantee you that Dane knew they were meeting up. So all the secrets that Violet knows, where, you know, they're meeting up under the tree, all the marked ones, they're not supposed to be doing that. And she's thinking, oh, I'm keeping this secret for him. But in reality, Dane's constantly touching her face. So I guarantee you, Dane knew that they were meeting. And so,
which then his dad knew, which then
right.
he's all like, probably reason why, hey, let's do a war game in the middle of the night too. So
yeah. And is it, I mean, am I wrong? Is it weird that the second and third years are doing war games too? Isn't it just usually a first year thing, or no?
I
could be
don't
wrong.
know.
I don't know. I could be totally wrong.
Well, at first they thought they were under attack. And I know there's only a couple more like weeks until graduation. So I don't, maybe they do this like every year.
Maybe, because I thought all the other war games they've done were pretty much just the first years. Like Dane was not a part of the one where they had to go through. Oh no,
but Imogen was. It's the leadership that wasn't, and third years that weren't. Yeah. Okay.
Nobody get mad at me. We figured it out. We know what's going on.
Down.
But yeah, all of these things that we didn't realize, because Violet probably was under the impression the entire time that she'll know if Dane reads her memory. The only time he let it slip was when he said, let me see it for myself, when he was talking about Amber Melvis when she went after Violet. And it's probably because he had no connection to that. So he's just like, wait a minute. No. There's no way that could happen. Let me see it. And then it kind of slipped where she was like, oh, no, you can't. I don't think so. You know?
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a lot of interesting stuff there. I didn't even think about the tree thing. So they guarantee you Dane's father probably knows a lot more than what they think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just that note alone for Xaden and the Mark ones is
Hmm.
just there's something about that guy. So
Hmm.
and and
Yeah.
then we do see that they could start seeing what is it, the venin are coming closer and closer because of Liam's supervision.
Yeah. Okay. So the flyers really quickly. So they're they're like perceived as the enemies, essentially, according to the school and what they're taught. But we see Xaden and his group of people communicating with them as if like, okay, we have a truce right now because there's really a real enemy, which is the venin.
Yeah.
So what was up with the situation when they're like, oh, we could use Violet as like a bargaining tool against her mother?
Well, they would just give her enough money, like he said, to make all the weapons to protect. It was basically her ransom could pay for all the weapons we need, he said.
I see.
So, yeah.
I see. Because currently Xaden is providing them with weapons as
Yeah.
much as he can.
Yep. And I know you have a lot of questions, and I promise you the questions are going to get answered, majority of them in the next book. I can see your brain like spinning.
You see my wheels turning. I'm
I
ready for the
do.
cheese. I'm like, I
I'm like,
must get
before
it.
you ask,
Uh,
they'll be answered in the next book and in Onyx Storm. They're all fun books. So,
yeah, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should stop with my questions here, you know? Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so it just got, I feel like with this chapter, there was just like so many new things happening that I'm just like, okay, everything I thought I knew, I don't. And then as we
And
get,
it's really funny because you only really have like this much left of the book.
and you're making me
So,
break it up. I'm like, dude, I would have binged this all within like the same day.
oh yeah, for sure. For sure. We'll get there. But it's kind of funny for the people that read it when it first came out and everything. They were left off because we are almost done. It's now I feel like all the excitement is about to begin right now.
Yeah. No, it for sure is. And like I said, I feel like we're seeing a lot of things coming back um from the beginning of the book that are now playing a huge role towards the end of the book. But I think, and okay, just so everybody knows, Amanda calls me as I'm on the second to last page of the chapter, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Hannah,
It's taking forever.
almost done." So, but this like section was extremely, extremely exciting for me. Not in the like happy way, but just like what is going on type of way, because Xaden tells Violet, "Did you tell Dane where I went?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Did he touch your face at all?" And she starts to think about it. And literally in real life, I'm like, oh, "Did he touch her face?" And I'm like, because I'm like throwing, and I'm trying to go back all these chapters trying to find like he touched her face. I remember this. I remember he touched her face. I just don't know when it was. And it all clicked in my head because I'm like, this is weird. They're supposed to be at this post and they're supposed to have a bunch of riders there and no one is there. So they pulled the riders out for some reason. Why did they do that? Like what is going
Yeah,
on?
because he's setting him up. That's what the
Yeah.
letter said. And then he even says at the end of the very last sentence that we left you is we were sent here to die.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow. So they took pretty much essentially because Xaden gathered all the Mark ones, right? Was like, okay, we're going to have all these. He strategically figured out a way to get everybody who's a marked one with him. And now, like thinking, okay, we've got to step above all these people. But turns out, probably because of Dane, and they knew all this information,
Hmm.
all of a sudden now we're seeing that, Dane's father and everybody on the other side is like, you might have thought you had the upper hand, but we do. We pulled all our riders out. So now you guys have to figure out how you're going to survive through this because it's their way of basically killing off the marked ones.
Yeah, with no trace of left behind, all they have to say is that the griffins attacked and there's no survivors. So,
Yeah. And this makes sense why when I read this and I'm like, that's why I went back and I saw when Dane was like, I'm going to miss you. I'm like, what? And then now I'm like, I understand that now. I understand why he's going to miss her and why he didn't want her to go with Xaden. And because he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
He knew. I mean, okay, so that tiny little pea-sized fraction of a decimal of respect that I had gotten back from Dane last podcast, that's gone. That's gone. That's nowhere to be found anymore. I was like, nope, you lost it, and now I understand why you were like, Dane. Like I was like, is he really that bad? Or is I'm like, I mean, he's like a jealous guy who, you know, probably is a little overprotective of Violet in the wrong kind of way. Okay, I can find him annoying, but now I'm like, no, dude, you screwed everyone. You screwed her. You screwed everyone. I'm just like, no respect left for you, bro. It's done.
Yeah. That's
So now
funny.
it makes sense. Now it makes sense. That was exciting. That was a very exciting 3 chapters. We have what, 4 chapters left?
Yes. 4 chapters left.
So we're going to be able to wrap this up quickly. This book. All
I know,
right.
it's exciting, huh? So
There's
we
just so
left
much.
off and everybody is in basically going to go into war mode.
Yeah. And what I'm curious about,
And
because I
it's
haven't,
real. This is
yeah, and
real.
I haven't read beyond this, obviously, but they, with the note, it says, your mission is to survive, but what is coming for them? Is
Hold
it
on.
but like, what is coming for them? Is it the venin? Is it, who's coming? I'm assuming it's the venin. If I was able to read the next chapter, I would probably know by now, but I'm like, okay, so clearly something is coming. They pulled out their riders to make sure their people that they wanted were safe, and they sent, this whole thing was just like, oh, this was a total setup. This whole thing was a setup. And
I think they do know what's coming because Liam shouts.
they may know, but we don't know as the reader, do we?
Well, if you really don't know, then I'm going to say no. Because I know what's going to happen.
You read
So
it.
I have to say no. I have to follow what you said if you said that you don't know yet. But I could have sworn I thought they said they saw him.
Well, they did say something, but now you're making me question all my life choices when it comes to the book.
Oh gosh. No.
You're
No,
making
no,
me
no.
question everything now.
You're supposed to always question everything. Anyways, yeah, that was the 3 books. We see them going to the formation, having more games, and we find out that Xaden and the marked ones are helping the flyers, which is going to be even more interesting to find out more. And then we find out venin is real, and the marked ones and now Violet are all sent to an area to basically die. So now we get to find out if anyone does die, if they all die,
And
or if they
does
all
her
make it.
mother does her mother know that she's there? Did somebody warn her mother, like, oh, by the way, your daughter is going with Xaden? Did Xaden bring Violet as like a way to protect her, or did he bring her because he needed something as like leverage to be like, if you guys kill us, she goes too?
No, no. He just wanted her to, because he knows he could keep her safe better than Dane. I mean, it's a 5-day, they're going to be gone for 5 days. He couldn't even last himself 3 days without her. So I think he just wanted her with him. But as of Lilith, no one knows yet if she knows about her daughter. But it'd be crappy if she did, and it'd be crappy if she didn't. So, because you allowed it.
I know. I guess we're gonna see what happens. All right. I'm ready. I'm ready to read. Let's go read.
All right. Well, we love you guys.
Was there anything else though that you wanted to cover, or did we pretty much cover the important keys that we found in these chapters?
I think we covered it.
Okay. So I guess so basically, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow, make sure to read along with us. And yeah, just let us know what you guys think. Leave a review because it really helps. And but yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it. And we will see you guys on the next chapter. Bye.
Bye.